Hi guys, and we will be doing cubic equations. And a cubic equation is of the form ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d equals to 0. And suppose that this cubic equation has roots alpha, beta and gamma. So we know that it can be rewritten as x minus alpha into x minus beta into x minus gamma because they are the factors of the cubic equation. Is equal to 0. And now let's expand the brackets and compare the coefficients. Now let's group the like terms together. So x cubed will remain as it is, and then minus times alpha plus beta plus gamma x squared plus alpha beta into beta gamma plus alpha gamma x minus alpha beta gamma is equal to 0. Now let's compare those two equations. Well, if you directly compare those two equations, the coefficients of the two equations, you can see that minus sigma alpha is equal to b by a. First of all, let's divide by a to fully understand this. So if you divide by a, you get x cubed plus b by a x squared plus c by ax plus d by a equals to 0. Alright, now let's compare the coefficients of the two equations. So minus sigma alpha is equal to b by a because alpha plus beta plus gamma is nothing other than sigma alpha. This implies that sigma alpha is equal to minus b by a. And you know that alpha beta plus beta gamma plus alpha gamma is giving a new notation, that is sigma alpha beta. That is taking the sum of the product of the roots in pairs. So that's c by a, and the product of the roots is minus d by a by direct comparison. So you must know the three results because they are pivotal in answering questions. So those are very important. Alright, now let's look at an example. Suppose we have this cubic equation. Since sigma alpha is obviously equal to 0 because the coefficient of x squared is 0, so 0 over 4 minus 0 over 4 is obviously 0, and then sigma alpha beta is 3 over 4, and the product of the roots alpha beta gamma is equal to 1 over 4. Alright, now let's look at some important results that you need to know when answering questions. The first one is the sum of the squares of the roots. So that is sigma alpha squared is equal to sigma alpha whole thing squared minus 2 times sigma alpha beta. And now we must know this. The other one that we must know is the sum of the cube of the roots, that is sigma alpha cubed minus 3 alpha beta gamma is equal to sigma alpha into sigma alpha squared minus sigma alpha beta. Please know that this is only for cubic equations. For quadratic equations, you must use a factorization. Alpha cube plus beta cube is equal to alpha plus beta into alpha squared minus alpha beta plus beta squared that I discussed in the previous video. Alright, so we must also discuss about sigma 1 over alpha, that is 1 over alpha plus 1 over beta plus 1 over gamma. So let's simplify taking the LCM in the denominator. So when you finally simplify it, you get sigma alpha beta over alpha beta gamma, because alpha beta plus beta gamma plus alpha gamma is nothing other than the sum of the product of the roots in pairs. So that's an important result. You can derive at the exam. Don't need to memorize this stuff. Now let's find out sigma alpha to the power of 4. Well, let's employ a similar technique that I used in a previous video. That's extremely powerful. Alright, so suppose we have that cubic equation ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d equals to 0. Now let's multiply throughout by x. So it will become ax to the power of 4 plus bx cubed plus cx squared plus dx equals to 0. Now since x is equal to alpha, because it's the root of that cubic equation, you can directly substitute it. So it becomes a alpha to the power of 4 plus b alpha squared plus c plus b alpha cubed plus c alpha squared plus d alpha equals to 0. You can do the same for x is equal to beta, and that will become a beta to the power of 4 plus b times beta cubed plus c times beta squared plus d times beta is equal to 0. And so you can do the same for x is equal to gamma. A times gamma to the power of 4 plus b times gamma cubed plus c times gamma squared plus d times gamma is also equal to 0. And now let's denote them by equation number 1, equation number 2, and equation number 3. Let's add the three equations. So that will yield us a times sigma alpha to the power of 4, because alpha to the power of 4 plus beta to the power of 4 plus gamma to the power of 4 is nothing other than sigma alpha to the power of 4. And you follow suit with the other three. Plus d times sigma alpha is equal to 0. Since we know sigma alpha cubed, sigma alpha squared, and sigma alpha, we can directly find sigma alpha to the power of 4. Now let's move on to another question. Alright, so let's find out sigma alpha, that is minus 3, and sigma alpha beta is minus 5, and alpha beta gamma is minus 6. Sigma alpha to the power of minus 1 is obviously 1 over alpha plus 1 over beta plus 1 over gamma. That's nothing but sigma alpha beta over alpha beta gamma. So just directly substitute these values for those two and you get the answer 5 over 6. Now let's look at the sum of the squares of the root sigma alpha squared. That is equal to sigma alpha whole thing squared minus 2 times sigma alpha beta. So just plug in these values and you get sigma alpha squared very easily. Now to get the sum of the cube of the roots, you must employ that equation sigma alpha cubed minus 3 times alpha beta gamma is equal to sigma alpha times sigma alpha squared minus sigma alpha beta. Also just substitute the values for these quantities and you have sigma alpha cubed. And by final subtraction you find out that sigma alpha cubed is equal to minus 90. Alright guys, that's it for cubic equations. In the next video I'll be talking about quartic equations, and after that some questions, and you will get full marks for this part in your past papers.